Please just have your attention as we go through the following mandatory safety. In the unlikely event of an emergency, you will be notified by means of an announcement over the microphone, a signal which will consist of 7 short blasts and 1 long blast on the horn, or by myself or the crew member. Please remain calm at all times, and at all times, please refrain from standing on the seat. This vessel is equipped with 2 65-person life rafts, and these are located on the roof of the warehouse. There is also a life jacket for each person on board, and these are located at the lockers at the front of the vessel, and also the 2 boxes at the rear of the vessel. On donning the life jacket, you will listen to normal time. In the event of an emergency requiring evacuation, you will be instructed by myself or the crew member to move to the nearest accessible exit and exit. On entering the life raft, you will be instructed. If you have a toilet on board and if you have any questions at all, please just feel free to ask. Thank you very much for your attention and we hope you enjoy it. And we will tell you a lot more about it as we pass it a lot closer further along the coast. But what we're just going to do in the meantime is we'll be making our way out to the outer group of islands. The stretch of water between here and there is known as the Stable Sound, and it's approximately 1 nautical mile wide. It will just take us a few moments to get across there. On passage, it's well worth keeping your eyes peeled for the vast array of wildlife that we have here at the island, and one in particular across the Stable Sound are gannets. Gannets are Europe's largest seabird with a wingspan in excess of 5.5 meters across. This is always really nice to see them here in the island because they don't nest here. They come all the way down from Farne, 45 nautical miles north of here, just at the southern edge of the Farne, just off North America. On the right is the dominant rock of the Farne, are at half capacity, so if you feel comfortable enough to stand up and move around the vessel, you are more than welcome to do so, but we will turn the boat around as much as we can as well. The tall columns of rock is passing down the left-hand side. These are called the pinnacles. There did used to be an additional pinnacle, but it was destroyed about 200 years ago during a great storm. The remains of it still lie on the end, just under the surface of the water as we are approaching high tide, and it's known to the locals as the Brooklyn Bridge. At the very height of the seabird breeding season, it is estimated that there can be anywhere between 200 to 500 guillemots on the top of each pinnacle alone, with 20,000 nesting here on Stable Island, and from last year's count, 42,892 individuals in total. Nowhere else can such a varied amount of seabirds be seen, with 15 species breeding in such a small area. Now the guillemots are a member of the auk family with a black back, a white front and a large head of beak. They are known, and a small thin dark beak. The guillemots lay one greenish-blue egg with brown blotches on it, and they lay the egg directly on the bare rock each and every year. As they come and go from the cliff edges, they often bump their eggs, and so if you ever get the chance to see a guillemot egg, it's shaped round at one end and very pointed at the other, so that as the birds come and go, hopefully the egg will just spin around in a circle instead of falling off the cliff face and into the sea. It is also then when guillemot chicks are just 2 weeks old, they're referred to as younglings as opposed to fledglings, and that is because they'll jump off the top of the cliff faces before they can even fly. They will then go out to the local feeding grounds such as the Farne and the Dogger Bank. That's where they'll learn how to feed and fend for themselves until they grow to adults. Higher up nesting spots, as these are obviously a lot less vulnerable to the harsh sea conditions we do occasionally experience from time to time. And the kittiwakes get their name from the very distinctive call that they make. Now, in a few the nest there are a couple of chicks. They're grey and fluffy in colour. They are nearly as big as their parents, getting to a couple of weeks old now. So the difference between a shag and a cormorant is that the shags have very dark green plumage, yellow patches at the gape of their beak, and during the breeding season they'll also have a crest of feathers on the top of their head. That crest of feathers is there for display purposes only, and once they've displayed and laid their eggs, the crest will simply drop off. This does then make it much more difficult to distinguish a shag from a cormorant, and it is also quite easy to mistake a young shag from a young cormorant, as they have a very similar light brown coloration. Cormorants are much taller. They have bronze, brown and black plumage, white patches on their chin and cheeks, and a long sharp beak with a downturned hook at the tip. You'll often be able to see both species of birds spreading their wings out in the wind, and they have to do this just in order to dry their feathers out, as they don't produce the same natural waterproofing oils as other seabirds. That might sound like a genetic defect, but both shags and cormorants get the majority of their food directly from the seabed, and so intentionally saturate their feathers just in order to help them sink, which often then gives them a longer time feeding on commodities. Now moving on to the lighthouses that we have here in the island. The first modern circular tower with an enclosed and revolving was built on the Enoch Farm and that was built in. That was the white lighthouse we saw on the way in. We will pass a lot closer to on the return journey. The following year, a similar structure was then built on the Browns Island, which is over on the on the left-hand side of the boat, where that square tower is, and the whole way. But despite those improvements, ships were still using clocks, especially the Longstone and the Dynamo, and so in 1824 it was decided that the Alpha Lighthouse. So just coming up, the red and white lighthouse here, the Longstone Lighthouse, and work started on the Longstone Lighthouse in April of 1865, and was completed by February 1820. And that's a total cost of £4,770. It was designed by Joseph Nelson, and the lighthouse itself stands the lighthouse was visible along the This lighthouse was manned for 164 years before it finally went on traffic in 1960. It is owned and maintained by Tracy House, and she saw people stranded on the rocket. Grace and her father decided to launch their boat in an attempt to rescue the survivors, and they did manage to save the 9 people in total, saving 5 on the first trip, and then 1 back out on the Longstone